Welcome to the High-Tech Investments News Report for Week 39. The news report covers some of the many investments projects High-Tech Investments is currently involved in so you can follow our progress. We hope you will enjoy this news feed and look forward to your comments and remarks.
Hi, Bo here, and welcome back to this week's news report that has news on the new app from Yieldnodes. We are also looking into how you can actually, with a couple of simple clicks and minutes, can double your investment. And then on top of that, you can make an additional 50%. And we also have a look at our Forex robots. It has been a crazy week. A lot of things has happened here. So let's get started. And unfortunately, we're going to start off with Yieldnodes. Not that there's anything wrong with this, but we don't have any profits in. It will only be in on the 1st of the month, so 1st of October, which will be on Saturday, the day after this news report has been launched. But as usual, we will obviously keep you updated with the post on the weekends once Steve, the CEO, is going to share it with us. It looked like this also on the graph last week. So definitely this month has been below average compared to every single other month in 2022. We're going to hope that they're going to turn this around in the last month. We have seen some good pickups here on both shared masternoding as we will go through. So we're hoping for a couple of percent so we can close off at least over 5%. Now we have some good news, and last week in the news report we mentioned that the new app was coming for Yieldnodes very soon. It is now here on Google Play. For the people that have the Apple, the iOS system will follow later. We don't exactly have a date on this yet, but obviously we'll keep you informed. Now when we look at the shared masternoding, it certainly has also gone through a couple of ups and downs in the last couple of weeks here. At the moment, Sapphire looks pretty stable on the return on the investment per year. And obviously we can see that the shared masternoding has done 1.9% for the last week. So not too bad. Overall, we are up 85.18%. And if we have a look at the coin development, it looks like we are doing quite well again now. Don't forget that we all-time high was almost at 700%. We had a big dip and now we're up again 461%. So definitely it's going in the right direction, pulling more than 65% just in 1 week. And the reason for this is obviously here. As you can see, we had a massive dip now a couple of weeks back. And since then, we have had some good corrections on the Sapphire coin. We'll see if it's going to go all the way back up again. But it's definitely a good development in the right direction. Peony has been our troubled child here. And it continues to be so. As you can see, the return on the investment per year has dropped considerably. Previously week it was 89%, now it's down at 64. So not the best, but the shared masternoding is also overall down. We are only getting somewhere around the 11-12%. So for this particular week, the good part is that the free fall drop has stopped, at least for now, and we hope for a long time. The maximum minus we had on this particular coin development was 97%, and that was actually last week. This week we're just about 0.5% better, so at 96.63%. So not impressive, but obviously as long as we can stop the bleeding, that's the first sign of things to come. And it looks like this, and if you remember, I mentioned last week that it looked like something could happen here. We'll see if this positive trend is going to continue in a couple of weeks so we can get something out of our PNY. Birake has also been down recently here, and we can see a small change also there in the return on the investment per year. Last week it was at 121%, now it's down to 118%. But overall, we can still see we have some good development, more than 3.5%. So we managed to get out of this week, and that's fairly positive. Overall coin development is quite good. And if you remember from last week also, we had a massive dip in here. We were hoping that this was only temporary. And as we foreseen here, it looks quite good, 100 and about 20%. in just a week is obviously extremely positive. So the graph looks like this, and a reasonably quick recovery again. So also on beer. If we have a quick look at Bitcoin versus USDT or US dollars here, last week we left it just above the $18,000 mark, and since then it has basically been going sideways all week, only entering the $20,000 mark for a very short period of time, then dropped back again. And at the moment it's lying at around the 19,300 mark. Elevate Pass has not much to say this particular week. Profit for week 39 is still 0. They are not paying out. We do know this, and we have mentioned that to you before, that this will take most probably several months, maybe even half a year, before Elevate Pass will be able to start paying out profits again. But obviously you still have the options of going in and advertising for the money you have already invested there, and also the option to go in with some of the educational crypto material. So last week we mentioned that we have updated our website, and as you can see here, we both have Trillant and Birake, and that is obviously because the pre-launch is now ending. So basically on the day that you now see this news report coming out, so which is end of September, that is your last day. And we have just sent out quite a few posts to make sure that everybody is fully aware of the new system compared to the old one. We have both still on the website, so you actually have an idea. If you are new to all of this, Birake has been going on for 3 years, and Trillant is the new one being launched on the 24th of August. We are in the pre-launch phase, and you can actually get in buying the new tokens at 5 cents, and they will double them up to 10 for you. And that's what this part is all about. So this is a good and quick way of doubling up your money. So basically you go in, you do staking. So we suggest 52 weeks, but obviously you can do it short or long term. And basically they will take, if you invest $1,000, they will double that up, because they will add the value to 10 cents, and which is also what it's going to be at on the 1st of October. From there on, you can then earn up to an additional 50% over the next 52 weeks. So definitely worth having a closer look at. Now we did a new video also on this, a presentation on what exactly does it cover now with the new Trillant system. And hopefully you can go and have a closer look at this, how you can do the staking and what is actually involved and what is to come. And one of the things that we are very enthusiastic about here is obviously the stablecoin that are in there, plus the shopping platform that will be launched in Q4. So the options that you have once you are staking is short term, 4 weeks, 9 weeks, 26 weeks, or the long term 52 weeks with 50% yield. On top of that, there's also a chance that every fourth week or about a month, we are not exactly sure how that's going to pan out, but you will have the option to restake at a higher basically coin value. At the moment it's 5, as we said, it goes up to 10, and if it goes up to 15 or 20, you can now stake at that instead, which also will double your yield at the end of the week. And the only drawdown you have here is your initial investment will then be locked in again for an additional 52 weeks. But it's definitely worth it as we see it here. If you are brand new to the platform and you want to have a quick look, then this is the tutorial for the new Trillant platform and how you can get started. If you are a Birake member and you haven't really done anything about it yet, this is also the video that you can go and familiarize yourself with, so you understand everything that has been moved from the old platform to the new one. Now we are talking about solar farm, and last week we mentioned also here that the developers here has been a bit all over the place in the last couple of weeks, and that has also put some big minuses on the solar farm itself. There is news to come, but let's have a look at the total value locked first. 46 to 29. so only down by 37%. That has obviously something to do with now that the changes that we described in last week's news report, where you can only take 1% out of the TVL, that has definitely limited, but still it is going down. Panels owned is also up, but not by as much as we normally see it. Don't forget that we don't have the 14.28% anymore. It was voted. We're going to change that to 6%. And on top of that, you still have your bonuses. But as we have also the bonus of 30%, it is now 30% of the 6, which means that we are in the range of 8.5% now instead. Panel value is also down by 37%, and the exchange rate is quite high this week, 175%, so definitely it could have been better. Now the good news here is that obviously developers, they are trying to make this right, and you will see that also in the latest parts that came out on the Medium platform here. It says SolarPlay token, there's a whitelist pre-sale. And the good part here is that if you are a solar farm miner version 1, version 2, and you haven't broken even yet, you will actually get a chance to get in here and try and get back your money, which is very fair of the developers themselves. There's a link within this article here, and basically the scheduled pre-launch or pre-sales here is about to take place on the 30th of September. We believe that this has been moved already to the 3rd, and then the second round will most probably happen around the 10th. So the best place is always go to the Telegram app. We have previous links also on the videos themselves, so you can find your way in there and get the latest information. But obviously, as this is quite important also for the solar farm miners here, we have it on our webpage too. So if you go in on the solar farm and you scroll down just next to the due diligence, you will see that we have added also a link to the Medium here. You can go in and then find the link within the article and then apply for this, so you can make sure that you get your money back. Quick look at the BNB versus USD. It doesn't really match the Bitcoin scale this week, because basically it has a positive trend, even though obviously it goes a bit up and down along the way here. We left the BNB at $260 mark, and at the moment we're up at 281. So a nice positive development over the last week. Solar Farm 1 has also done quite well. We can see the TVL has only dropped by 4%, and don't forget, we don't have any restrictions on that particular platform, so we believe that it is the hardcore miners like ourselves that are left there. We haven't sold anything off right now. We are waiting to see what is coming out next. The panel owned is up by 172%, so we are quite happy with this. And then both the panel value and the daily rewards has also had a good and positive trend in the last week, up by 11%. Solar versus BNB also on the positive side, and definitely it doesn't look like Bitcoin or BNB at all. It has come from below and all the way up here, and it looks like now it's going sideways, but definitely also good development here. What is not so good development is AI marketing. Again, we haven't heard anything. We haven't seen anything new on the platform. We are 28 days in of August, and we basically can't see any of our sales. All our robots are now stopped, and we are not adding any more into our ad campaign until we figure out what exactly is going to happen here. So the next meeting with AI marketing team is on the 4th of October. And obviously this could be delayed again, as it has been so many times before. We only have to wait and see and hope for the best. Well, AI marketing might be a disaster. We also had a bit of a blow up, but it's not a disaster as such. So Forex has been absolutely crazy this particular week. And we had one robot that crashed completely. That was the British Pounds USD, and that was actually one of the first ones that we introduced. It was doing quite well. And we can see also on Expert Forex Forum, we have several other people that have also lost out on this currency. We're going to have a closer look at the graph and see exactly why it did it and how bad has this particular week been. On top of this, we also had a short margin call on the US CAT, and that was quite a surprise for us because this is one of the latest robots we have put into place. We have added a new system where we are trying to run less than a $2,000 drawdown on a $10,000 account. And we have tested this over 9-10 months. On top of this, we have also made 5 different entry points, and they did quite well on all of them. But obviously nothing could have prepared us for what we have seen in the last week. And if we have a closer look, we are just using the British pounds versus USD. You'll see this all happened over a very short period of time, so only less than a week. And you'll see that the massive drop all of a sudden in the British pounds. What you'll notice also here is that there's basically no big retracements. They're very, very small. And obviously the profit retriever will not be able to cope with anything like this unless, especially when you are doing reducing lot size as you go. And even if you would have done a larger lot size, so that would still not have made this come any better. Now, to take this into perspective, what exactly has happened, then you'll see that it is comparable to March 2020, and that is basically when we had the COVID outbreak, the COVID-19. You can see similar linear, basically just drop in the prices, and everything else in between has been fairly okay. That is something you can trade with. Obviously, if the robot is turning the wrong way, then it's going to blow your account. So this is obviously very difficult to predict again, and especially at the speed it did. So this is not an event that happens every week, every month, or even every year. So, but definitely it gives you a bit of a perspective of why this happened. Now, obviously we have blown an account, but on top of this, we always encourage everybody here to do a portfolio. And as you know, we have 18 robots running, and most of them are doing quite well, and some of them are doing extremely well. So when things like this happen and they turn in the right direction. So let's have a look at the Euro USD. Almost made $1,000 here, 9.8%. We have the New Zealand versus US dollars at 9%, the CAT Swiss francs at 3.9. Then we have the silver coming in at 3.9, and then New Zealand Swiss francs at 3.7. So overall, last week's return here was $3,040 or 6.1%. And that is obviously more than 1% a day, which is excellent. And that's why you should trade many different currency pairs, because they will make up for the losses that you normally have. So if you are still interested and you want to go in on this part of the copy trading, and at the moment it is mostly the profit retriever, then you can go to our website. We have all the links that will take you to Expert Forex. If you want to buy it, we also have links for that. Now Alex has sent out 2 videos also this week. The first one here, there was a bit of a turmoil because MetaTrader 4 and 5 is actually Russian owned, and they were banned, so in this particular week, by Apple. But we are talking about the mobile applications, so for your phone, that is no longer available now to download. The MT4 and the MT5 platform on the web-based is still there, is still operating, and we haven't heard that that's going to change. Second part is the link to success, which is the new linked account setup that we are also part of, and a lot of people have already come in here. This is a video that if you're not exactly sure what this is all about, then please go and have a look and see what Alex thinks about it. He will take you through the different forums, and as always, you can go in and see some of the profits that are being made before you become an Expert Premium Forum member. And that's what we had for you in this week's news report. As you can see, plenty of positive news, plenty of profits. We hope this is going to continue for the weeks and months to come. We will obviously cover this as always, and I hope to see you on next week's news report too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed our news report, so please don't forget to like and add your comment below, as we would love to get your feedback. But before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to keep the notification bell turned on. That way, you will never miss any of our future videos. We hope to see you back on this channel very soon.